Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Give us a book, so we in the book. Salute Harriet. Systems of hate that us stole the book now. We just been saying it's not a good look. Started to catch it on tape, what's live on the book. So what's finna happen now? It's all on the table. Tired of the lies and we tired of the labels. Before we get a chance, we always under aim. They say we play the card, but this not a game. This is the breaking of invisible chains. You dig our fame, but you won't dig the pain. Through all the mess, yo, it's time to invest. Access alone will alleviate stress. Major concern is these babies can't learn. When given a turn, then we all can earn. At the tipping point, it's time for the turn. This ain't revenge, just justice we earn. So let's talk about it. 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 Midwest living make it hard to live. How you remain positive through the negative. The great migration, subliminal frustration. It's like we moved up north to a new plantation. Some do their best just to kill our dreams. Like no white tees, caps and sagging jeans. Why don't you go and just say what you mean? No place for us, so we can't have a scene. We need black spots like we need black props. More wealth in the hood, more black shops. More health in the hood, more black docs. More black Wall Street with more black stocks. More thriving, build it up with all black blocks. It's about time like it's all black clocks. It's about time that we even it out. Seem like we got some things to be talking about. So let's talk about it. 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 Let's talk about it.
All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Karen Reese. I'm the president of Urban Community Arts Network and also part of the group that is organizing our Greater Madison Music City project. Urban Community Arts Network, otherwise known as UCAN, is an organization in Madison that's been working to achieve equity in our local music scene for the past decade. So today we are broadcasting on Zoom, and then we also are broadcasting live on Facebook. So I will add the link to the Facebook Live if you all would like to share that on your networks. That would be really great. This will also be posted on our YouTube channel as well as greatermadisonmusiccity.com shortly after we're done here today. So if you're watching us now on Zoom, there are a couple of ways that you can interact. You can use the chat box. If you open chat, you should be able to share comments with everyone or with just the panelists if you like. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them here. Or if you have questions, feel free to use the Q&A tab as well. This is a webinar, so if you're participating, you will be just an attendee, so you won't be able to use your camera or we won't be able to hear your voice. So if you'd like to participate, please do jump in on the Q&A or the chat tab. So today we're really excited to officially kick off the Greater Madison Music City project. Our objective is to grow Madison's music ecosystem. And to give you an idea of what that looks like, here's a sketch from our partner Sound Diplomacy that really illustrates what a music ecosystem is. And they'll talk a little bit more about that. But we're not just talking about artists and musicians here. We're talking about all the people that play music, that enjoy music, that hire musicians, that sell more food when musicians are present, the people who sell out hotel rooms, the people who are running recording studios, everyone involved. And the idea here is we want to create jobs, drive sustainable tourism, and that we do so, most importantly, that we do so inclusively so that all people in our community, all demographics, especially Black artists who have been traditionally left out of these conversations, we want to make sure that everyone's represented. So hence our tagline, music for everyone's ears. We want to make sure everyone's involved. If you were with us last summer, you heard the initial steps that we're taking to build an equitable and thriving music ecosystem. Well, we've come a long way from that point. If you're interested in what we talked about last summer, you can also find that all these materials will be posted at greatermadisonmusiccity.com. You can also find it at youcanmadison.org, and we'll post those links in the chat as well. Before we go any farther, we really want to take this opportunity to welcome our partners in this work, Sound Diplomacy. We decided to call in the experts to support the community work that's been going on for over a decade in the greater Madison area, so that we can really accomplish the things that we want to do and the things that we know we are very capable of. So without further ado, I want to introduce our guests today. We have Shane Shapiro here, who is the founder and group CEO of Sound Diplomacy. Shane is the leading global advisor on the growing music and nighttime economies in cities and places. He's defined a new way to think about the value of music in cities and places, and through it, influenced over 100 cities to invest in music and culture. He's also the co-founder of the Music Cities Convention, which is the world's largest event, bringing together the music industry with city planners, developers, policymakers, and executives, and the Madison Music Cities community. I'm sorry, just the Music City, not just Madison, leading online platform for music and public policy. And then I also want to introduce Kate Durio, who is the North American project lead for Sound Diplomacy. So we are definitely worldwide here with our partners. Kate is the leading global advisor on music city strategies and market development. And prior to joining Sound Diplomacy, Kate was the chief cultural officer and advisor to the mayor president of Lafayette, Louisiana, where she founded the city and parish's first cultural economy initiative and directed its $535,000 annual budget. Kate is also the founder and president of Culture Crowd Agency, which is a cultural economy consulting firm based on her work funded by the National Endowments for the Arts. So let me stop there and pass it over to Shane and Kate. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you, Karen. It's been a long time coming, and we're honored and privileged really to be welcomed into the community. I believe I was in Madison about a year ago, right before COVID, I think, and it was a slightly different world then. All of us sitting around a table, so it really is an honor and quite a responsibility to be partnering with you and to all the attendees. Hi, I'm calling in from London in the UK, where we are more locked down than you are right now. So I'm going to share my screen and just briefly introduce ourselves, and then we can talk about the work a little bit and then pass it back to you, Karen. So hold on. Does that work? There we go. Okay, everyone can see. I think I can view it as a slideshow. There we go. That worked. So just I'll be very brief about us to those who don't know us. So I'm Canadian, hence the accent, and a big Packers fan. So I'm even more excited about this work. But I moved to the UK in 2004. I used to work for the Canadian government. I ran the music office in Europe, helping Canadian artists export into Europe. And then through that, I ended up founding Sound Diplomacy. And really our objective is to be music people for non-music people, is the best way to put it. Our focus is about the value of music to everyone, to the ecosystem that Karen said. And we think that music is chronically undervalued across economic development, tourism, the real estate sector, and most importantly, even when it's valued, that value is not equitable. The value needs to improve structurally, racially, from a class perspective as well. So we focus on working with cities, regions, real estate sector, tourism, to get them to really recognize and understand the value of music and the associated nighttime economy. We do this all over the world, as Karen has said. So we've worked genuinely all over the world in about 40 countries. A couple of things that we've done in relation to the challenge to the pandemic. So we developed a toolkit for CARES funding, which did have some success in a few places. And we've written a recovery plan, which actually guides a lot of the work that we do, which is called the Music Cities Resilience Handbook, which is available on our website or at bettermusiccities.com if anyone's looking to read it. So these are some of the things that we do, but I'm going to focus on this one mainly, economic impact, because that is our role in this with Greater Madison Music City, at least in phase one. And we'll be helping on a number of other things, but our role is really to determine the economic value of music in Greater Madison, so we can create better policies that support growing that economic value for everyone. So these are some of our clients from all over the world, split into the kind of 3 buckets of clients that we have. We worked in about 25 US cities, large and small, all over, but I think this is our first project in Wisconsin. And, you know, our focus is, as we said, kind of how we do it is we work with these non-music entities to try to deliver economic growth, get them to understand place, global marketing, and so on and so forth. And as Karen said, we run a number of events. And for those listening, we have an online platform called the Music Cities Community, musiccitiescommunity.com. It's free. You can go on it. And there's about 1,000 people from all over the world sharing best practice on that community. Some of the work that we have done, just to show you kind of our global approach. We've even done one in French. I did not write it, but we work in Spanish and French and other languages. We work a lot in Canada. We did a big conference in China. We did a nighttime economy strategy in Lithuania. And really, we think, you know, every place is unique, but also not unique in that regard. Every city has the same challenges, but they're manifested in different ways. People not getting along, cities not being designed properly, bad regulation, or systemically or historically bad regulation that creates issues of systemic racism or classism, lack of investment in music, and most importantly, not recognizing the value of music. Simply, it's music is not seen like other jobs. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. So our job is to try to ensure that we have the most robust data possible so that there's no more excuses. And that's our objective in Madison. Some of the work that we're doing right now, just so you can see, we're pretty busy in the US. We work in some cities, I'm sure that you've heard of, St. Louis, Indianapolis, San Francisco, and so on. We do a lot of work in the South as well. One of our longer projects has been in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm happy to explain it if anyone's interested in the future. And then these are the events that we run. So the convention, the community, we also run a music tourism conference. And we produce reports and give them away for free because it's really hard to sell something if no one understands it. So we wrote a guide to music tourism with the UN World Tourism Organization. We wrote a guide to the nighttime economy with Harvard academic. And this one is about music and real estate with Legal & General, who's the biggest insurance company in Europe. Getting them to care about music wasn't easy, going to be honest. And we run a Music Cities Awards as well. So really, we're trying to be as global as we possibly can, and we're going to bring that expertise and that perspective to Madison. We are not experts in Madison, and I will never profess to be that. I'm not from Madison. I don't know. All I know is what works from a music policy perspective in other places. And we're incredibly privileged that we have such a great steering committee and community that can help us translate that data so that it is applicable to Madison. And I'm well aware of the work that's been done in the Equity Task Force and all the history and the real systemic issues that Madison faces in terms of making sure that the recovery of the music ecosystem is for everybody. And this is our focus. So simply, as we said, the implementation plan, for everybody knows, is phase one, which will be the next couple of months, probably 3 or 4 months. Our role is the economic impact assessment, and then the Madison Music Steering Committee will be working on mapping the music ecosystem that we'll be supporting. There's a focus on tourism because that's where some of this money is coming from. And then should we be successful, which I'm sure we will be in some further applications, then we're going to continue the strategy in the spring, late spring, with some more policy work related to the regulatory assessment, comparative analysis, benchmarking, and so on and so forth. So that's a little bit about us. That's our Our email address is right there. And I'm happy to answer any questions, obviously, that anybody has. So that was okay, Karen?
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. Kate, did you have any comments to add?
No, just happy to be here. Happy to take questions later. Probably want to maybe leave some time for that.
Yeah, if anyone does have questions, you can feel free to drop them in the chat now. Otherwise, we'll have plenty of time in the future to keep answering these. One of the things I really appreciate about Sound Diplomacy and Shane and Kate and their crew is that they truly understand that they're not just coming in here to dictate the terms of engagement here. They're coming in here to support with their worldwide expertise in a way that will complement and enhance what we already have going on here in Madison. So for those of you who are listening to this now and really want to get involved, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for that. Later in this event, we will post we'll post a link for how you can let us know you want to get involved. This is a kind of project that requires as many voices as possible. So, it's just about us reaching out to you, but also you reaching out to us to make sure that we know that you're interested. So don't hesitate to do that. Okay, so if there are no questions, what is the deliverable for the music ecosystem asset map?
So that is a literal map. It's one of the issues that we faced in many places around the world is most governments and I guess agencies related to governments, tourism, economic development, so on and so forth. It's not that they don't want to invest in music, it's that they don't have the understanding of where everything is. It's very, and you look at the census, that's why your census is so important. It allocates funding. It's the same thing with the music ecosystem. If you know as much as possible where everything is, it's much easier to target either investment policy or decisions related to that. So the music ecosystem, and it's also one of those things that's never finished because cities are living organisms. Madison tomorrow will be different to Madison today. But it's something that needs to be part of a music strategy, and especially to demonstrate to non-music people how vast and expansive music is. And it becomes even more important in, I would say, for lack of, communities that lack the investment that they deserve. And in order to argue for that investment in a way that speaks the language to the person that I'm speaking to, I have to demonstrate that there is a pathway for that investment to generate a return. And the first step is representation. That's always the first step. And it's hard to craft a music policy if you don't have a holistic understanding of what your music ecosystem is. And I say there's no perfect way to do this. Everywhere presents challenges. The minute that you think you've gotten everything, you haven't. We'll put a link that, there will be a way for people to feed in. And I promise we're going to get criticized because people are like, you forgot this, you forgot that. That is so totally normal. But when people get interested in it and say, you forgot this, that means that it's working, because that means that there's a desire to be represented.
Absolutely. Thank you. We really can think of this as sort of like any documents that we release as working documents, because we always want to be updating and evolving to make sure that we keep this work as relevant as possible. And in addition to what Shane said, I'm really excited about the economic impact analysis. So not just understanding how vast the music ecosystem is, but really what does that mean for everybody's bottom line, and how do we maximize that for everyone involved?
Yeah, and I guess the last thing else is this. I think that there's a lot of questions that we get, the same questions that we get from different places. And the two that we get always are, why music? Why should we care about music over culture in general? And the other one is, why now? Right? So I argue why music is music. Often when cities have engaged in promoting or music in the past, it's on certain types of music. And I think in Madison, that's very clear that certain genres have been prioritized over others in terms of access to resources and opportunities, and also treatments on behalf of authorities, whatever they may be. So music requires a music-specific solution, and cultural policy is important and integral, but a cultural strategy does not is not as specific to ensure that all music makers are equitably treated. And the why now is because I know that we've all struggled. I just hope everyone who's listening to me is healthy and their family is healthy. COVID sucks. Loads of us have lost work. But it's also an incredible case study in how powerful music is. So if you think about it, they're on two sides. One is we relied on it more, streaming went up. And on the other side, it's the Joni Mitchell, you don't know what you have until it's gone. Now we actually have case studies that demonstrate how much music is worth when it disappears. So now is the time, really in the next 6 months, with a new administration coming in, with potential funding, potential stimulus going to state and local governments, whether it does or it doesn't, it's the opportunity to be very specific about what the ask is. And COVID presents this incredible opportunity to recover with culture as a lead rather than just as something that is attached to other things. And we think now, especially now, because of music's ubiquity and universality, that it can be an incredible tool in the economic recovery of Greater Madison, but it will only work if we do it equitably and we have a focus on equity from the beginning. And that's what excites us the most about this work, is that's the non-negotiable here. And in some of the places where we've worked, especially a few years ago, I would say that it wasn't taken as seriously as it should have. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we have learned, Kate and I, in our work. It's the thing, I never know everything. And so we think that by late summer, if we're able to really identify the policies that can be changed, how the city can be better engaged, it's not just about money, it's about policy, it's about relationships, then music, then the economic growth that Madison will receive because of music will be higher.
Right. Yeah. Thanks so much, Shane. Okay, so when we do these things, we always like to make sure that the non-music folks watching understand how important this is by featuring some of our most amazing Madison musicians. So we're going to move on to our first performance here, and stick around, because in the next segment, we're going to answer your question, Steve. How do musicians benefit from this, which is a critical point here. So I would like to introduce to you Angela Puerta, who is a Colombian singer, songwriter, and guitarist based in Madison, Wisconsin. Her main music influence is alternative rock, rock en español, pop, funk, reggae, Colombian folklore, and other Latin American rhythms. After landing in Madison in the fall of 2013, Angela Puerta obtained a master's degree in urban and regional planning from the UW-Madison in 2015. And since 2014, Angela has been working for the City of Madison as a city planner and is currently an active member of the Greater Madison Music City team. Angela has also won 6 MAMA Awards and is also one of the winners of the Best of Madison in 2019 and 2020. Latin Artist Bronze and Silver Star, which is absolutely amazing. So Angela, take it away.
Hello, Karen, thank you so much for the lovely introduction, and welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to be able to combine these two passions. So can you hear me very well, Karen?
Yes, you sound great.
Perfect. So I'm going to start with one of my favorite songs by Sade. This is called Smooth Operator.
sensitive hearts. Sentiment is left to chance. Place to be ending, but somewhere to start. No need to ask, he's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Coast to coast, LA to Chicago, Western Mail. Across the north and south to Gillardo, love for sale. One, two, three, and go. Face to face, each classic case with shadow box and double cross the chase. License to love, assurance to hold. It's all your memories change into gold. His eyes are like angels, but his heart is cold. No need to ask, he's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Coast to coast, LA to Chicago, Western Mail. Across the north and south to Gillardo, love for sale. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Yeah, so I can hear the virtual claps, or I want to hear them at least.
Woo!
That's the missing part, right?
Right,
That's
that's-
I'm missing that, but anyways, so I'm gonna do another tune. This is more Latin song. It's a song cubano. So let's see. This is called El Ratón. Mi gato se está quejando que no puede vacilar. Por más que quiera que lo intente, su gata lo va a buscar. Noche brinca la verja, está detrás de mi casa. A ver si puede quejarse sin que ella lo pueda ver. tan pronto está de fiesta silvestre felino, tiene que echar a correr. Esto sí es serio, mi amigo. Oye, qué lío se va a formar cuando mi gatito sepa, y es tan simple la razón. El que a su gata le cuenta, que el que a su gata le cuenta, no es nada más que un ratón, un ratón. De cualquier humaya sale un ratón, oye, de cualquier humaya, de cualquier humaya sale un ratón, oye, de cualquier humaya, de cualquier humaya sale un ratón, oye, de cualquier humaya, de cualquier humaya, como se cuela una gata, sale un ratón, oye, de cualquier humaya, sale un ratón, oye, de cualquier humaya, como se cuela una gata, como se cuela un ratón, de cualquier humaya, sale un ratón, oye, de cualquier humaya, oye, que cierra la puerta, que se te cuela el ratón, de cualquier humaya, sale un ratón, oye, de cualquier una libra de queso y se me la comió el ratón, de cualquier humaya, sale un ratón, oye, y vámonos, Claudita, yeah. Échale semilla a la maraca para que suene, cha, 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 cha. Échale semilla a la maraca para que suene, cha, 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 cha. Échale semilla a la maraca para que suene, cha, 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 cha. Échale semilla a la maraca para que suene, échale semilla a esa maraca para que suene, échale semilla a esa maraca para que suene, que ya, se nos va, ya. Échale semilla a esa maraca para que suene, cha, 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 cha. Échale semilla a la maraca para que suene, cha, 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 cha. Échale semilla a la maraca para que suene, cha, 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 cha.
Woo!
Okay. I wanted to end with an upbeat sound, so thank you so much, and I hope we are not running out of time.
No, we're great. Thank you. That was absolutely amazing. And if you close your eyes, you maybe feel a little bit like you're in a club, but we'll get back there. It was fantastic. Thank you.
I'm missing seeing people dancing, and their interaction with the audience is always so important. At least, probably the most important thing for me.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll move right along here, and we're gonna have Angela speak a little bit, and then also I'd like to introduce our other panelist, Mr. Rob Franklin, also affectionately known as Rob Dees in the music community. He is the Media Projects Butlerian for the Madison Public Library, and as a Kennedy Center certified teaching artist for the Making Justice program, his primary focus is on creating workshops on hip-hop, spoken word, and personal branding as positive forms of self-expression. He's a teaching artist, and he's held residencies at a variety of different schools in the Madison School District. He's worked in several community centers, as well as the Dane County Juvenile Detention Center and the Shelter Home. He's been part of Madison Jazz Consortium with Black Star Drumline. And in 2016, he was named Madison Public Library's community recipient of the Medal of Honor for Museum and Library Services. And you guys, he met Michelle Obama. That's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yes, so they know us, they know Madison on a national level. Rob has also performed with a number of very high-profile artists. He was one of the initiators of the Hip Hop Architecture Camp with Mike Ford, and has worked on Madison's Mifflandia project. I could go on, but I'm going to shut up there. And Rob, let's have you start out here, just because Angela just was on for a while. So So talk to us. Why does this matter?
Cha, 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 cha. Hey, that was okay. Very good job, Angela. Very good job. What's up, everybody? So to talk about why we think that this work is important. Pretty much, man, just look around right now. Our society is changing by the day. You know, intentionality on being more diverse and providing more access. That stuff is happening right before our eyes. And the reason why it's important that it ties into the work that we do, at least I feel, is that in movements of change, every successful movement of change, music and the arts have been right there in that movement. Everything from visual art to audio art. Because the arts and the music is a reflection of the communities that are affected by all of this and the need for change. So I think that you tie that in to the idea of the ecosystem that sound diplomacy is talking about incorporating. You are talking about providing more opportunities for artists involved, artists of color, more opportunities and more access. One of the biggest things and motivating factors for me to get involved in this work has been the fact that as a Black artist, I've realized that, you know, even though I have been allowed access and opportunity to certain stages, there are so many more artists of color that are not afforded these opportunities. And that's why this work is important, because in order to achieve true progress as a society and as a community, it's going to take all hands on deck. So, you know, you look at the first part of it has been to work with the task force to state what the issues are. You tie in now the idea of establishing an ecosystem, which will kind of give clarity to different roles and different ways that we can provide more access. And I think the final piece of the equation is the artists and the supporters of music themselves, the people that believe in the change. So you tie all that together and we have a very impactful movement for not only ourselves right now, but for generations to come, to be able to express, people to be able to express and to be able to share their stories in order to make the changes that we are really trying to see. So I just say that to say, like, you know, there's no better time than the present. And there's no better time to get involved, whether it's sharing your voice as a musician, whether it's just being in attendance and being supportive as a music supporter, or whether it's just being there as a person that's in favor of a more progressive community. That's what this is all about. So you know, it's something that I sign off and I believe in. I'm very thankful for the work that Karen, Angela, Walt, Mark, Karen Wolf, everybody has put into this project, because at least for me, it's so beautiful that everybody that is involved with this believes in the idea of progression. And I think we all can get there. And let's let this arts and this music lead the way to really making the change that we want to see. So with that being said, I will turn it back over to Karen and we can go from there.
Awesome. What do you have to say, Angela?
Well, after those very good words by Rob, it would be hard to just keep it at a higher level. But I'm going to just share the city perspective as a whole. The city of Madison is committed to racial equity and social justice. And this is being reflected in our city budget allocation, and also the great work that Madison Arts Commission has done, putting priority to encourage a vibrant music scene by investing in different initiatives like equitable access programs, professional development for emerging and professional musicians, and obviously supporting with 100% support for this effort, for the greater Madison Music City effort. People of color in general have been hit the most, along with hospitality, and art sector in general. And we don't want to keep losing musicians. We don't want to keep losing local venues here in Madison. We would like to strengthen that in the best way possible is by strengthening this collaborative group that we have right now. We want to bring more people. We want them to be able to have a say and to let us know what we can do, how best ways sound diplomacy can help us with, because they are the experts, right? We want to rely on that, and putting our main goal above all, which is music as a viable source of income, whether you are a musician or a music venue or a music producer. We want people to make a living doing music. You know, I have this passion, but I know that
I would be struggling a lot if I was just a musician, right? So I'm very fortunate that I'm a city planner as well, and super lucky that I have a city that is super welcoming to all this, that would like to share this message that we want people to work with music. And I know that music, as Shane said, it really helps financially. It helps our mental health as well. So the only problem is that sometimes music is not as palpable as other professions are, right? So you cannot see it right away. But in the long term, it really pays off. So we need to reflect on that. And I hope that all the help that Sound Diplomacy does with us can really expedite that effort of having an impact, economic impact in our community. So Music Tourism Economic Recovery Plan was supported by the Room Tax Commission last year. So we are very fortunate that we can hit the ground running this month, working and gathering people to be part of the steering committee, to be part of the project in any way or another. So yeah, so I hope that people sign up, that you know that there is a Google form. They can also email us and let us know in which way they would like to participate.
Yeah, thanks. And I think one of the coolest parts about this project, it's really been something that's been worked on actively for over a decade now, starting with just artists in the community. Then UCAN picked it up, and now we really are in a place where we have a truly collective impact project. So we've got true investment from both the city and the county. Mark Frere, Dana Arks, Karen Wolf, and Anhila from the City of Madison Planning Department and Madison Arts Commission. We also have different business stakeholders, Walter Jankowski of Better Dash Faster, also David Boyd of Indie TuneUp and So Sonic, and then also Carol Schaefer, who is a mover and shaker in the community. And then we're looking to add more to that core team, and we're also looking to get people involved in different aspects of this work. So we'll get that information to you in the next segment of this. We'll get more information about what you can do in next steps. Shane, if you have just a minute or two, there was a question about how this benefits musicians, and then there's another question about any examples of policies in other cities. And so I know that's a lot, but I mean, if you could just hit that at a high level.
Yeah, so how it benefits musicians. I'm hoping that every single thing that we do benefits musicians, or I need a new job. But I think that, there are a lot of issues that musicians face that I believe, especially local musicians, just normalize, being paid a certain amount, being not having the job recognized like other jobs. And we believe that while it takes time, by proposing a different narrative and backing it up with data around regulation, around policy, around things that impact all creative practitioners, but we often don't see, things related to bylaws and regulation and tax. The fact that being a musician is not recognized as a form of business the same way that other types of jobs are. So these are the types of things that we work on. I can't wave a magic wand and say that every artist is going to get paid more tomorrow than they got paid today. But we believe that, a sustained, steady effort to really be deliberate and intentional about the value of music in a community will mean that those who are responsible for it are going to be valued more. So I hope that answered it. And there are other things that we will hopefully be looking at in the next phase, things around issues like street performance, different types of regulation around like open container and events, the taxes and fees that venues pay, issues of licensing, types of things like that do impact musicians, even though it doesn't like singularly and impact musicians. So, and at the same time, we have a pretty big global network, and we're going to be hopefully bringing Madison into it. And we're hoping that we can create new conversations and opportunities around that. In terms of the type of work that we've done, that results that we have delivered. So, you know, I worked in the mayor's office in London here for 3 years, developing the music policy. We were able to change property tax law to support music venues. We created a provision called the Agent of Change legislation, which I helped write, which essentially means that if a developer is building an apartment next to a music venue, they have to soundproof the apartment building. The venue is protected. We created a nighttime mayor, a night mayor for London to legitimize the nighttime economy. And also we've been able, the mayor's office has put about $1 million worth of relief funding into the music ecosystem here because we knew what it was, because we had an economic indicators. We knew how much music venues are worth here. We know where everything is. And they were able to deploy resources more. One of the longer jobs that we've had is in Huntsville, Alabama, where a music board was created. That music board has led to a music officer position in City Hall, about 60 grand a year, I think, something like that, Kate, that they're recruiting right now. And we're now rewriting essentially the city's zoning bylaws. And we're going to be presenting a number of pro-music reforms around tax, zoning, things like that, in one Globo amendment. Essentially, we're going to City Council once with a bunch of fixes and asking them to fix it, and we believe that they will. We've also, we brought a new amphitheater to Huntsville, Alabama that's being run by the band Mumford & Sons. And so we brought new people into that community. And they're you know, and it is slow and steady. Recognition is one of those things that you don't recognize when you have it, right? We always say clean water is only important when you don't have it. When you have it, you take it for granted. And there's an ecosystem that we have taken for granted in our music ecosystem in most cities, that the music ecosystem sucks. And it can be much better, but it requires work. And that work is, unfortunately, a lot of it is not sexy, it's policy-based, and it's not going to create overnight change for every musician. But we hope that the work that the Equity Task Force began, that we're continuing in partnership with all you guys, will essentially move music into a different avenue of appreciation, which means that it has to be taken more seriously across all stakeholders in Greater Madison and Dane County. So, and on that note, I know I have to run. I have a meeting with the mayor of Orlando in 15 minutes, apparently. So another one of the cities we work in, I have to convince him that music matters. So, so I just want to thank all of you for this opportunity. I've shared my email address and Kate's email address. We are an open book, as I've said. We have nothing to hide, and we're proud of what we do. So any questions that people have, we will answer it and be completely transparent throughout this entire process.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shane and Kate. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks,
so
everyone.
we are going to move on to our next performer, who I am excited to introduce, Elise Mosley. Elise has been a growing force in the R&B music over the past 10 years. And after starting out as the lead vocalist in her musical family's band, known as A Family Affair, at age 15, her skills were honed by the many festivals, family reunions, and private events where she was featured. Elise launched out on her own as a versatile singer-songwriter in 2016, releasing a string of EPs that spoke to her audience. She continues to make music for the soul, expressing herself magnificently through heartfelt lyrics and beautiful melodies. Elise is an experience you don't want to miss, and you're going to get it right now. So, Elise, take it away. And Elise, if you're there, there you go. There, we see you now.
Hi. Okay. All right. Yeah. just gonna perform a few songs for you guys. Whenever you're ready. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Kiss the stars good night. Close your eyes real tight. I'll sing you a lullaby. Singing wishes to come true. I knew it as soon as I met you. A queen is how you make me feel. A king you are to me. And a whole damn meal. Cause the way you keep me satisfied makes me thankful for your sweetest love. I see in your eyes that I'm just what you like, what you want in life. Whoa, oh. I'm addicted to your love, your love. Just shake it to me, bring it to me. Boy, I say it softly. That is what I need. Oh, give it to me. Just take it slowly. That's a demand, not a request, baby. I didn't know it, didn't believe that it quite existed. The reality that someone like me could ever get this twisted. I'll be cutie like you, so what you gonna do? I like, really like you. I like having you around. I see in your eyes that I'm just what you like, what you want in life. Oh, I'm addicted to your love, your love. Bring it to me, boy. That is what I need. Oh, bring it to me. Just take it slowly. That's a demand, not a request, baby. I won't say it again, but I love you. Yes, I love you. And that was Intertwined. I wrote that about someone very special, and you know who you are.
Bravo.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next song. Falling down deep into this rabbit hole. I never thought that you'd ever go. Oh well, what did I really lose? Let me tell you. I will cry, 'cause I was never satisfied, so kiss, kiss, goodbye. Could never keep it up, not even for a minute. Disappointment every time you quickly hit your limit. But I guess it was goodbye, now I don't have to spin it. Was never satisfied, so kiss, kiss, goodbye. So now that you're gone, don't come back no more. I don't wanna hear you knocking at my door, begging me, please, oh please, won't you chase me? Boy, are you crazy? 'Cause I won't cry. 'Cause never satisfied. So kiss, kiss goodbye. Could never keep it up, not even for a minute. Disappointment every time you quickly hit your limit. I guess it was goodbye, now I don't have to spin it. Was never satisfied, so kiss, kiss goodbye. Could never keep it up, not even for a minute. Disappointment every time you quickly hit your limit. But I guess it was goodbye, now I don't have to spin it. Was never satisfied, so kiss, kiss goodbye. Kiss, kiss goodbye. That was Kiss Goodbye. You can find that song on Spotify.
Beautiful.
And we'll just go ahead right on to the next one. We live in an era where love is idealized, barely materialized. So won't you come and put your hand in mine? If it's meant to be, then your love will come in time. 'Cause I'm not afraid of what we could be between you and me. I'm a little crazy. Oh. Nothing like I thought you'd be, adored in love and ecstasy. Nothing like I thought you'd be, adored in love and ecstasy. See, 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 between you and me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And all I see is you. Oh, you. And all I see is you. Something seemed beautiful upside down, like heaven on earth, my head's in the clouds. You know that I could never make you feel pressure. Come nearer and feel rest assured. 'Cause I cannot fathom the way that I feel between you and me. It's just a little crazy. Oh. Nothing like I thought you'd be, adored in love and ecstasy. Nothing like I thought you'd be, adored in love and ecstasy. See, 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 between you and me. Oh, baby, yeah, yeah. And all I see is you. It's like a light turned on, baby. And all I see is you. You're my baby, yeah. Oh, I really love you.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Where can we find you, Elise? Where can we find your music?
Oh, okay. You can find me either on SoundCloud or Spotify. We'll post the links in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So we are almost at our time, but we want to make sure that you know how you can get involved going forward. And then we do have one last amazing. We'll close out with an amazing performance by Super Friends. So don't go just yet. So let me just tell you about the next steps. One thing that you can definitely do is fill out this form I'm going to drop in the chat. And there's some really fantastic questions that are coming up. We are going to put those together, and we're going to get those on greatermadisonmusiccity.com. So keep an eye on that site. Music City, trying to type, sorry. Keep an eye on that site because we'll keep populating it with more and more information. And as we go, we'll do more meetings like this as well, so we can make sure that everyone is informed as much as possible. But to really get started, aside from people just helping with administrative stuff, we are going to be breaking out into 4 different committees who are going to really get down into the substance of the work that we need to do together. So if you fill out the link that's in the chat, fill out that form and let us know how you want to be involved. And if you would like to be involved in one of these work groups here, equity and artist relations it really refers to how do we, we're always making sure that this equity concept stays front and center in this work. Because if we don't make it front and center, then we inevitably lose that piece. So how do we really create a nightlife that's attractive to professionals of color? And that will really strengthen all of our nightlife, as well as give access to stages and venues, and keeping that conversation going across the music industry, not just for artists of color. Another really important area is partnerships. So if you think you're a person who really likes to make network connections between businesses, looking to make recommendations to businesses for how they hire and support local artists, increasing interest from partners, and just working on this unique partnership, that committee will be for you. If you are more interested in economic impact, you can join this group to help develop this comprehensive inventory, making sure our asset map is complete, but then also looking at regulatory policies, different licensing aspects, and governmental policies that will really help make sure that not only can musicians make a living sharing their art in Madison, but that all of the businesses involved in the music ecosystem are really seeing that impact. And especially as we recover from COVID-19, this will really be important. We've also had a long time interest in having Madison and Greater Madison and Dane County really, and across the region, identified as a music hub. So how do we really get people interested in tourism, coming here to hear music and art, making Madison and Dane County an even cooler place to live, work, and play? So if you want to be involved in this plan and increasing the Madison region's competitive advantage in Wisconsin, this committee is for you. So again, hit that link in the chat on Facebook. If you scroll up in the comments, it's also there. And then finally, if you want to, just a couple of ways that you can learn more. The survey is the link that I was talking about. You can go to ucanmadison.org. You can email us at info@ucanmadison. You can also read the task force report. I'm going to drop that link as well, or you can just go to ucanmadison.org to find that. And then we are still fundraising for this effort. We want to make sure that everyone involved is not necessarily the core team, but making sure that people are compensated, our partners are compensated, and that our musicians are getting paid as well. We have an initial fundraising goal of about $150,000. We are up to just under $70,000, which is really pretty impressive. So if you're interested in supporting in that way, you can send gifts to paypal.me/UCAN-Madison, or we also have a Cash App that's UCAN-Madison. So those are all ways you can get involved. Angela, Rob, any last words about ways to get involved?
Well, I just want to encourage all my friends, especially the Latino friends who are musicians, to get involved, to not be shy about it. It's a great opportunity for us to work together, and that's something that we always complain about in Madison. That there is no like a work collaboration among musicians. So this is a great opportunity to start that, to make just our ideas possible. And I think that this project is going to help. Thank you.
Thanks. Rob?
Cool. I'll just keep it brief. The title of this program is Music for Everyone's Ears. And in order for everyone to be heard for everyone's ears, we all have to work together. And this is a great way to get that work done. We can make this happen, man. And it's very important that we do this work. So thank you. And we look forward to hearing from you all.
Thanks so much. And again, I have a bad habit of just saying Madison, but this is not just for Madison. This is for Dane County. This is for a broader area, not just for urban areas either, definitely for our rural partners in Dane County. So I will work on using better language if you'll stick with me in partnership with this. So stay tuned. Our last performance right now will definitely get you energized and ready for the next parts of your day. We are bringing on Super Friends right now. Super! And I'm going to move Elise back here to an attendee. So we're having a clean screen. So let me just give you a proper introduction, gentlemen. Super Friends is a hip hop group founded in Madison, Wisconsin in 2017 by 5 MCs. Soup the Fifth, the Master Plan, Aldi, Pseudonym, Tyrell, the Well Treated, and Marusian Chef, and then of course the group's in-house producer, Hardface the Pilot. Super Friends was founded with the purposes of creating a unique, diverse, and fun brand of hip-hop that blends the styles and influences of the individual members to form something entirely new and experimental. If you want to learn more about Super Friends, they're going to tell you how you can access them online. But take it away, guys. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Woo!
You want to tell them what the song's called, or are we going to hit it?
Well, first off, you can find us. We got a nice little website, thesuperfriends.com, right? Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Super Friends Official, Facebook, all that. We got some songs. I produced 2 of them. Let's just keep it moving. We ain't got to talk about titles and whatnot because, you'll see them if you see them.
Cool.
Yeah. Beauty like yours, it doesn't come twice. Chemistry like ours, we're different yet alike. When we mix a different kind of flame ignites, burning all doubts in sight. The feeling of love, stronger than any physical might. Still young, but if you're the one, I can be with you forever and some. If love was a war, I've already won. The heart weighs a ton. I'll hold yours for as long as you need, just don't run. Call your name with all the air in my lungs. This feeling in my chest, I'm surely sprung. Sheet the frost and get life like spring. Let's get lost, making new songs to sing. Regrets buzzing, they sting. Unlike bees that can't die, can't pin them by their wings. So how about me and you get together? We don't have to talk about forever.
The pious can't normally see above the clouds, but you gon' make me laugh so the moon and wrangle it down. For the right one, believe it's no small feat. That's why my 808 is crafted at a heartbeat. It's the same in my chest. Divine intervention, which led to the conception that we be wed. All that girl chasing been dead, too much stress. That's why I keep the loves and thank yous on each of my breaths. Who you impressed? Bruh, me too. Even on days where I feel too see-through. Truth be told, shit keeps me higher up than the tree do. Bluntly, prosperity don't come close to what we do. The pleases and the pieces that be trying to sleaze the skis of bang. Swinging on lines, thinner than malnourished. The ring and tanks got nothing quite as tangible. Gripping like by the mandible. Have my foot in the door, so to say he got a handle. Yo. Everybody in chat say super. Shee. Yeah, and once more, that is www.thesuperfriends.com. Aldi, talk to him.
Hey, yo, it's Aldi. We here. We got the beat. Bluetooth speaker. What's good? Shouts out DJ Premier. Yo, polluted scene. Don't worry, son. The kids is here. Swinging on the beat like see ya on the chandelier. Far and near, I'm headed for your atmosphere. I'm the pilot bound to fly. You just broke your landing gear. Do not fear the rhymes. I'm here to commandeer. Experiencing steering through the bars with a beer. License to ill revoked. Try back in the year. Thinking you sounding fire, clicking like an auctioneer. I used to be the guy that cracked some smack and buy some smokes before my lungs was kicking dust and then it caused my throat to choke. Used to rely on chemicals from my mind to glow. Now my spinal shaking when the bass behind the rhymes is dope. Table full of lines, my only antidote. Had to grab the broom and sweep up dust from all the bars I broke. Y'all on the track trying to be steady and woke. Moving around your arms looking like you had a stroke. Robbers and killers worry about being low. They need to be worried about dropping the soap. Either they get a check and for a year they get to boast, or be found beaten, washed up on the side of a coast. Cruising for a bruising, looking for some cruise. Dudes get to jumping up quick like kangaroos. For ice cubes and igloos, new clothes and sea-doos. Don't matter in the end when you beached up, Shamu. When I'm the captain like Seamus, making us look lame, these bangers ignoramus. Yo, that violence killing our culture, you know what I'm saying? This that OC, Word Life, crazy album. Shouts out DJ Premier again. He didn't give me this beat. Verse 2, yo. Walk into the spot with more juice than the socks. Wrap it up, here's your last words, black box. Leave your lips smeared onto the black top, rapping white Basquiat, you were walking crack rock. To others a walking jackpot, went to reload, but then I dropped it cause the mag's hot. We cultured up like zines out of LA scenes, contradicting your cartoon ass stuck up in Crashbox. On the throne, no, you cannot sit next to me. Y'all spit and see more impotent than vasectomies. Cemetery, pedestrian, similarity. From and in the ground, I'ma kick it to you like never. That's word to be low. Rappers stray away from subterranean. We know, yet the stuff that we say caused the earth's core to glow and the underground stay popping. Yo, don't you know, wait. So say it ain't so like a sweater song. Y'all looking dumb like the news when the weather wrong. Now play the song and keep your vocals loud and turn your back to the crowd like you're not proud. Vomit, spit, it injects them, impress them, while keeping it serious like XM, the Dexter. Competition sprint for the exit, my Depeche hovering over them whenever they measure. See you striding in millimeters, seeing what scam can get you up in the theaters. And I'm not trying to fall into conspiracy, but y'all on my flow like a bird to a feeder. Woo! Yo, here you go, James.
Homie's got bars. Homie got bars. All right, we gonna end it off with this little tune. Thanks for rocking with us. Yeah. We at it.
Shouts out you, Ken. Shouts out Karen. Shouts out Uncle Rob.
We are Bentley.
Yeah. Every time I write a song, I know this is where I belong. I be missing the stage when it's gone for too long. If you doing what you love, it can't be so wrong. Well, unless it's harmful, that is. A brother's such a fiend, like he be smoking guts from cigs, so you can say he's stressed. See music as a healthier outlet. Uncanny how this mutant man handles the alphabet. Live a life so I don't forget in the next vex, but pressure lifted after I finish a set. When it's been a sec, death inches closer to my doorstep. At least that's how it feels, unreal. Unless a pen in my hand, my thoughts sort of sealed. At times it can get hectic whenever the ink spills. It's either grueling or easy money, like grabbing Benjamins out the till. Lost running in circles, warm up laps round the field. My soul unyields as long as I wield. Pen and pad like sword and shield. Vitality, strength, dexterity, leveling up. I'm making a perfect.
Ooh, what's good with y'all? Phone it, riding carnival bark. It's Clive read it from Eddie. Told his telltale heart or how it beats for greed and kilter, but would spill for the seed. Mom beats for the art. It's really all that he need. The only way I can breathe be when it's me and the team. Them and he burn more mics than spliffs these days. Sunshine rays beam on my face. Look alive, will be a hair in a tortoiseshell race. Caller, you on live. What you hear on the wire? A monster with 6 heads, setting the game on fire. Lord, deliver us from all their scrutiny and their ire, and use their product to stack and ignite this hip-hop fire. Like the teacher, our life's work always to be inspired. Either the sun and the moon, they gotta stop and admire. So, shit. It can't be so wrong. I'll be missing the stage when it's gone for too long. Switch.
I'm ready.
I don't write nada, I just channel from the other side. Where garments that's made of fleece and me as I and hide the dope and will never not be less sharp than a sword. I only survived the OD because I used to cut up on the Ouija board. Keep your gaze, have endured to see us. You too can sprout wings and from the ground be freed up. So high, almost can't near the soup ball from the bleachers to the tidal wave that crash and drop rap records on the beaches.
I bite down on the beat, it's sweet as peaches. Hate the king's lectures, but I listen when he teaches. If I die, my soul will reside in my pen. Nasudo on Sakumo, hoping you're catching the vibe like Quasimodo. Not a fan of doing promo. For this project, I put some stuff together. Here's the gumbo, stated the W, we set on Wumbo. I'm like an old man doing the hit at mumbo jumbo. Pinna fully auto, ammo on Rambo. Watch a 6, might show my higher powers like I'm omnipresent. It's alien flow, switch pin and omnitrix for indents and gents with ill intents. For my own fulfillment, leave them stuck, rhymes causing the paralysis, status ailment. A moment while I gather my components, building an unstoppable skill set. I'm the villain in the shonen, looking down on all opponents. Like, is that all you got? All you can muster? Make you regret trying to take mine, like what the natives did to Custer. All that blase blah don't make you less of a buster. I'm the mastermind behind the shade, sort of Wesker. Here to experiment and pester the lesser that fester. Pitying the fools watching abused. Whatever. Hey, thanks for having us. It's been fun.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. That was fantastic. Thanks to all our musician friends who joined us today and shared their art with us. Thanks to all of you who tuned in. We are really looking forward to working with you very soon and really transforming things across our county in ways that we've never seen before. So let me just put up my acknowledgement slide here to make sure everyone is in the loop. And again, keep reaching out if you have questions. Otherwise, we will be talking to you very soon. Thanks again and have a great day.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now. All right now.